So we're okay. So we're live now, Timur. We are recording as we speak. So good morning. Finally, after many Facebook messages and a number of WhatsApp messages, now we get into almost real time.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Hugh.
Where do we start? Well, as I said to you, let me just turn off, sorry, the volume on my phone here. As I said to you by email, Timur, I've been, just to give you a little bit of background about me, I've been in Moscow since 2007, mainly teaching English. I've been freelance since 2009. I've been lucky, my wife is Russian. She helped me with my temporary residency process, which I arranged through Orlovsky Areol region. And then my full residency through Moscow region, which was from just the end of 2014, just before the law came in about your Russian language and your Russian history and culture, etc. So I got in just in time, so I didn't need to do the test in the. So I had that obviously until 2019, 5-year residency, renewable residency, and now I've recently renewed it again until 2024. Your original Facebook post got my attention because now I understand that I can actually apply for citizenship, which I might as well. I mean, I guess my main, well, it's not just I might as well, I'm not being facetious about it. My main goal is to, frankly, I think a number of people that I've taught and that I've worked with in different projects in the past in Russia have asked me, why don't I get citizenship? And I always said to people, oh, it's a long process and I'd have to give up renounce my own Irish citizenship, which I didn't want to do and still don't want to do. Now that from your original post, if I remember correctly, now that I understand that the law has changed, it's an appealing option to me. It's an appealing option to understand, even I didn't say this to you by email, but to understand how much do my rights change in terms of business setup, in terms of property ownership as well, in terms of employing people. Do they change much between residency and citizenship? I always had at the back of my mind that the only difference between being a Russian resident, or tax resident, officially living resident, and being a Russian citizen, that I can vote for Mr. Putin. That was my understanding, and that has always been my understanding. Maybe you could tell me a little bit more about that. So that's one of the reasons why we're having this call this morning. The other reason is to understand a bit more about the business setup. I did have a sole trader, like an individuality you might have set up about 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago. I just for different contracts have said to set it up, and now I don't have an EP, but I've been asked by one of my main teaching clients in Moscow to arrange to either have a teaching license or to arrange to have an EP. I don't know if I could do both, if I can combine the two of those, or if I can, if I need an OOO, or do I need a limited company? So again, there's two strands, I guess, to our conversation, and I'll shut up there and listen to you, because one of them is the citizenship, and one of them is which business entity would you recommend to me?
Yeah, thanks for explaining the situation. With regards to the citizenship, you are absolutely correct. As of 24th of July this year, the new law will come into force, allowing foreign nationals, when applying for Russian citizenship, not to give up their original and current citizenship, which is, I think, good thing for many people. It's not, as I mentioned in some of my videos, it's not a law on dual citizenship. Yeah, because dual citizenship is governed only by bilateral agreements between the countries. So Russia has only one. So it's just an internal Russian law, goodwill, if you want to say, if you want to think it like that, allowing foreign nationals not to give up their current citizenship. So what would be the differences or advantages of having Russian citizenship in comparison with residency permit? I wouldn't say that there are many, because or differences. Yeah, there are not that many possibility to work for Putin, as you mentioned. I think
to vote,
vote,
for Putin.
vote,
I plan on working
vote.
for Putin, but if he makes me an offer, you never know. I might accept. Yeah.
Yeah. So voting for Putin would be a possibility.
Great. Yeah.
Working working for Putin depends on in which job. Yeah.
Yeah.
As you know, about a month ago or 2 months ago, they passed the law that government officials, top-level government officials that have the dual citizenship, the two citizenships, should either quit their jobs or give up their foreign citizenship. Yeah?
Oh, I had read something about that. I didn't read into it in great detail. So the people in the Duma, for example, or in government departments, they were given an ultimatum. You have to choose Russia or you have to quit your job. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I actually cannot confirm whether that's a law already or whether it was just moving towards this direction. But yeah, this is one of the things that having two citizenship won't be allowed. I actually had a client to an Irish citizen that wanted to receive Russian citizenship, and basically his idea was that even a residency permit in Russia, in case you, I would say, in case you have issues in your business and some of your competitors are playing not the game by the rules, not fair play, they could potentially set up something or do something so that you won't be allowed to get into Russia, because still the residency permit can be taken away, provided that you
So the citizenship is more secure than the residency.
Yes. So citizenship is more secure than the residency. So with regards to tax status, there is no difference because in Russia taxes are treated differently. Yeah, so your tax status is not governed by your citizenship; it's governed by the number of days you spend in Russia and whether you become a Russian tax resident or not. Although we are moving towards the definition of the center of, as you call it, center of where you reside. Yeah. So if your family is based here, if your business is here, if you are here, and even if you potentially spend less time in Russia than 183 days, you still can be treated as a Russian tax resident, but we're moving towards that. Yeah, formally right now it's 183 days, which is being a Russian citizen or having a residency permit doesn't affect your tax status. Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, I mean, with my Russian residency, I make a tax declaration every year on my residency. I would go to problems. As far as that, I'm going to be deported if I don't make my tax declaration. Yeah, I mean, I make my declaration with my local authority document. They understand that I have a certain amount of income, and which just is it true? It just needs to be that my wife does most of this for me, and I just sign on the dotted line. But most of the time, I just understand that the tax that I declare to keep my residency needs to be the equivalent of the monthly subsistence level.
Yeah, multiplied by 12.
Yeah, to keep me in the country. Okay, and I thought that was the case. I wasn't too sure if it still was, but I thought it was. Yeah, so I'd have a bit more security if I decided to go for this. And even, I see job vacancies from time to time. These are only available to Russian Federation people. So even on a contract basis, I've noticed different opportunities like that have presented themselves recently. I could go in with a residency document and it wouldn't be enough for contract.
Yeah, from the legal point of view, I mean, there is no pretty much difference if you're a Russian citizen or if you have a residency permit, because you can freely work in any region of Russia on your residency. The only difference is that the employer, apart from formal employment and doing the paperwork, would just need to inform immigration authorities with a standard, pretty straightforward form that they employed a foreign national with a residence permit. But apart from that, it doesn't create too much of a problem for an employer to employ somebody with a residency. So there is no, there is no a definite answer. So what are the advantages or disadvantages? It's for many people, it's personal decision. It's more of a personal decision.
No big difference with property rights, is there? I've bought an apartment recently outside of Moscow. It was supposed to be ready at the end of February. I mean, myself and my wife are joint owners. We both signed on the paperwork. And I'm not planning on getting divorced anytime soon. But in case of in case it did happen, is there a difference in terms of property rights? Whether so, an Australian guy told me a long time ago. An Australian guy told me who actually had gone through the residency process and was a property owner, and I was at the temporary residence stage, and I had another property which has since been sold. And he said to me that, I don't remember exactly, but he said something about, oh, it's better to have citizenship if you have property, so you have more. Is there more security in terms of property? Do you know, Afan, is there a difference in terms of your right to own property or to sell property? If you're a
No, there is no difference there. I mean, I would probably I would add a bit to differences in being Russian citizen to a residency permit holder. You can own the property. It's no problem. With one actual difference, which could be interesting for quite a lot of foreigners coming to Russia, because as I mentioned to you, this Australian guy, he wants to do farming. So if you are a foreigner, you cannot buy agricultural land,
really?
even with a residency permit. So if you're a Russian citizen, you can buy agricultural land. If you're a foreigner, you cannot. Definitely another advantage to being Russian citizen, if theoretical situation, if you're married and then you divorced, you have kids, the courts would be and if there's a conflict in favor of a Russian citizen. So that's an important thing, because we also have several clients that unfortunately potentially in this situation of being divorced, and they are eager to get Russian citizenship in order to be able to have more rights in the court and be more secure for the kids.
To think for many of us expats here, something to think about. We don't know what the future holds, and I know, and I'm sure you've seen as well, a number of people personally who have had difficult situations in terms of divorce and access to the child and making decisions as a family. Court obviously would look more favorably on somebody being a Russian.
Absolutely, absolutely.
How long does it take, Timur? As I said, I have my residency now, my second residency from until 2024. After our crazy COVID-19 time, if I decide to put the wheels into motion, for example, in July or August or September, do you know how long the process will take me before I have a Russian passport?
Right now it's 6 months, but as of July 24th, the simplified process is more simplified, so it will be 3 months.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, to our friends, usually there are delays, so probably it will be something more like 4 months, but not when you don't have a simplified procedure, because if it's not simplified, then it's a year and different process. But that's not in your case. In your case, you will use the simplified route, which will be 3-4 months as we foresee it after the changes come into force.
You mentioned the 24th of July. Is that the 24th of July last year or the 24th of July this year?
This year. So that's the law. I mean, the law that Putin signed about possibility not to give up foreign citizenship also has other provisions. And one of those provisions is that the simplified process will be even more simplified. So instead of 6 months, it will be 3 months. So there are a couple other things in that law, but of course everyone was reading the main one. You don't need to give up your current citizenship.
That's the most important one for a lot of us. So it's a draft bill or it's a law. We
It's
have
a law. It's a law. It just comes into force 90 days after it was published.
okay. Is that the same for all Russian laws? Yeah, there's 90-day time. Is that the same for all Russian laws? They only.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's
Yeah, federal laws, yeah, that's the rule. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see. Interesting. Yeah, okay. I think it's something I'll do. And I presume it's just going to Sakharova with all my documents and understanding, getting into a queue for Gражданство, да? Getting into
Yes,
the queue
yes,
for
correct.
citizenship, yeah?
Yes,
I get my wife.
correct.
Yeah, and you've explained that very clearly. Thank you very much. It makes a lot of sense. And I think it makes a lot of sense for me to do it and for quite a few other people as well, that I know. In terms of the entity, then, I mean, I had my EP, and the funny story. I had my Russian EP. I think it was in I can't remember, 2016 or something. A Russian former student of mine asked me to set up a company for him in Ireland for tax reasons, and it was more tax effective for him. So I met some auditors in Ireland, and I said to them, "What's the situation? How's business?" And I said, "Business is good. I have a sole trader." And they said, "Really? What tax rate do you pay?" And I said, "I pay 6% on the turnover of the company." And all of them said, "Repeat that in Ireland again," because the tax rate in Ireland, it's minimum 27%, it's like maximum 48%. And when I told them I was paying 6%, and it was legal, and they're like, "Oh no, that's ridiculous! How do you get away with paying so little tax?" So I'm looking now. Yeah, as I sent you by email, I'm debating. I'm just kind of weighing up at the moment. Now, as I said, most of my business is teaching. I have some different projects, different voiceover projects and training courses that I do. Um, it makes sense for me to have some form of business entity. I know the EP is straightforward, but one of my main clients has asked me about getting this teaching license. Now, I've looked into some of the. Do you know much about this? Do you know much about people who need to have a license to operate as in school? I mean, it is a school, whether it's me and two or three others, or whether it's a physical business building. Do you know much about
Yeah,
this?
well, yeah, we are not specialized in obtaining such license, but definitely, yeah, I know what are the rules and what are
Yeah.
the requirements for that. So, in order to answer your question, you need to understand what's the idea. Yeah. So, what's the goal? Is it to open real school and just make it as a business, or is it what's the purpose behind?
The purpose behind is I have one of my clients has 700 staff worldwide and about 400 in Russia and 280 to 300 in Moscow. And I typically teach between 70 and 80 of those. So it's a very lucrative client. For years, it's been cash that they have paid me for about 2 years. They need to obviously have, what's the word, be whiter than white because auditors obviously have to pay um, cash every month. So they've asked me to get this teaching. Now it's a bit of a chicken and eggs cart before the horse now because of our COVID situation, and are they going to continue? And I don't know if they're going to continue. I hope they are going to continue, but I'm not too sure. But if they do decide to continue with me as their formally contractor, they're going to need me to have a license. Now, if I go through the process of getting a teaching license to meet their requirements, do I need to have a physical location, or can I apply as an independent? Can I apply as an sole trader to receive a teaching license, or do I need to have an OOO, or do I need to have a physical building? How do I get the license?
Yeah. Well.
Is the question.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit two different things, yeah. Because in order to pay you legally, yeah, it's you need to have the IP. You mentioned that you are no longer IP.
No, not at the moment. No, I decided I had a number of ongoing contracts and I didn't need it actually, so I just decided to close the EP. I remember, I think about 2 years ago. So I guess I could set up another EP, yeah.
Yeah, if you register as a pair, then there are no problems for them to, white legally pay you. Yeah, because you are a sole entrepreneur. They don't need to withhold any taxes. They pay you, and your taxes is your headache. And for them, it's a deductible expense. Yeah. If we speak about licensing again, if you are issuing any type of certificates, which if you do that and they're kind of government kind of standard, diplomas, certificates that they went through courses, then it's different. And if they require that, if they don't require that, and the main question is to pay you legally, then it's enough to have a pair.
That's right. So the only, sorry to interrupt you for a moment, Timur. So the only reason why a client that I teach their staff, for them to ask me about the teaching license is, as you just said, for me to be in a position to say, this is your certificate, congratulations, and it's accredited by Be Your Best, by my language school. That's the only reason that they themselves would want to have a teaching license. If I understand it correctly, that's the only logical.
Well, if the idea is for them to receive a certificate, which is approved by the Russian government, approved by the educational ministry, that the methodology, how you teach them, is to a certain standard, then as IP you can get a license. Yeah, you can. As IP, if a foreign national is an individual entrepreneur, a Russian national is an individual entrepreneur, and does teach an activity, but only himself without any other employees, then you don't need a license. Yeah, because you do it as an individual. Yeah, you don't have other employees. Yeah, you don't need a license. I need to double check actually whether you would be able still to issue some certificates, but it's a bit of different question whether you are whether you legally can do such thing or whether legally you cannot do such thing. So if you would be doing it only on yourself teaching, well, you can do it. You can do it through a
I have. But it depends on the project. Sometimes I have one person working with me all the time in the project. Sometimes I have 2 people or 3 people. Depends. And if I'm on holidays, I could have 3 or 4 people work with me in the project. If the project expands, which I hope it will, actually, I'll have more people working with me in the project. Can I employ someone as an EP? I mean, I know it's individually different, but there's no chance for an EP to hire somebody, is there?
No, there is. You can, as individual entrepreneur, you can hire other people. So here is the main thing. If you hire other people and they are doing what you do, teaching other people, you basically have a school. So this school can be it's not necessarily to have it as OOO. So it's possible to hire other people, but in case everyone will be will be engaged into teaching activity, you will need to have a license. So, but with the license, it's a whole different process, because there are 2 main things for getting the license. I mean, I would say the major things. Number 1 is the office. You won't be able to receive a license for the apartment or any other place. Yes, you would need to have a room. You would need to have an office. Even if you do everything online, even if you do, some people have their teachers go and teach kids at the houses. If they do, if to do it legally and properly, they would need to still register a school, and still have the place, the office. You don't need to own it. You can rent it, but there are certain requirements to such an office. They all can be found in the relevant laws, but I mean, in general, it has to be a proper area, at least 550 square meters. So need to be studied.
My little heart attack starting when you said 500, when you were about to say 500 square meters. I thought, oh my God, getting 500 square meters. Moscow City, 500 square meters. Welcome to my school.
No, at least 50 square meters, because there will be a check from the Moscow Department of Education. So they will come and check actually the premises. And another very important thing is that you have to have a program. Really properly written methodology on how you teach, and it's one of the main documents that you provide to the for the Department for Education. So and they will come and check. They will look for the brochures with the methodology. So it's not something that you can do like on the shelf. So getting a license is a process. Yeah, and these are the main two requirements. There are others, but these are the main two requirements that for many become a deal breaker. Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, no, I know it's quite a bit of red tape in terms of getting the license, and I guess it's just it's. I obviously have to understand the cost of it and see does the cost is the cost justified, because it's a nice contract for me, but I need to be sure. Thank you, Timur, for your time. You've been very helpful in clarifying things for me. I don't know. I noticed we have quite a number of mutual friends on Facebook, so it's amazing that we haven't had contact with each other before now, huh?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? Because I guess I'm recording, so I should just.
Well, yeah, thank you. I just wanted to thank you for agreeing to make this happen, and hopefully it's interesting for other people that would be.
I hope so. Yeah.
It.
I mean, I guess like every of these, any of the podcasts or YouTube video series, we're just touching on real topics for real people. So and there are so many people going through different types of situations with themselves. So I'm sure it has been beneficial. So good luck to you with your video project and with your business, and we'll keep in touch however we can. Okay.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
You too, Timur. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye bye.